42.
All right, so we live, man. We
Okay, we
live.
are.
Yeah, we good, man. Golly, I'm telling y'all, the behind the scenes be crazy because you want to make sure everything is good for everybody. So, but we here. This is off the record. I'm Anthony
It's your
Adebayo.
boy Scotty B. You know what? I had started recording that stuff on TikTok, but then each week it just looked like the same thing, right? Like it looked like the same post, and I was like, you know what? I was like, let me chill. I got to get a different. This is a different angle of the behind the scenes, so I'll figure it out. But yeah, no, I had started recording that and
Yes.
seeing how it went.
So I mean, I think you should do the TikTok. I don't even have TikTok. So, you know.
I'm getting more familiar with it. It's
Hold on, wait. What people? Because some people have to understand.
I'm getting more.
Scott didn't even know how to use Instagram at one point. I'm not saying I know how to use Instagram. He wasn't savvy on it. We had to get his followers up. We had to do a lot of stuff. But nah, that's what's up, man. It's
You know what? I was late to the social media thing, right? So I think it's all on how like social media is presented to you. You know, like when you start to look at it, you say, "Oh yeah, I can just get in touch with a whole bunch of people," and you're like, you know what? I don't keep in touch with those people for a reason. I don't want everybody to get in touch with me, or I don't want to hear everybody's thoughts every
Right.
second of the day. But then when you start looking at a lot of the tools, a lot of the resources that come with social media, and just the different ways that people use them, you're like, you know what? I'm really missing out, just limiting myself to looking at what my followers are posting. Like, you know, you can sell stuff. You can. I heard in some cases there was a Facebook dating app, or you know, I'm not into any of that type of stuff. But it's just so much other stuff that you could do with all those platforms. So.
All right. So how was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was good, man. It was so this Thanksgiving I probably ate a lot more than I should. I know that sounds cliche because I know a lot of people are probably thinking the same thing, but this is one of the Thanksgivings that I can remember to where I basically ate myself into a coma. Yeah, it was bad, man. You know how like when you just eat so much your stomach hurts, and then if
I don't do that, but I know what you're saying though.
or you eat so much that you try to drink afterward, but you can't even get drunk because you ate so much. That's where I was yesterday. So.
Dang. Nah. So all right. So of course we had the football games yesterday, and I guess we could get my Thanksgiving was good. I don't think I ate myself to a coma, but I think I was more tired because we played in the Turkey Bowl yesterday, and it was good. I scored a touchdown. It was a
I
long
heard
touchdown.
you scored the only touchdown on your team. Is that true?
That is true.
That's what I heard. I heard the score was 28-7. I heard you played well, and I heard a couple other people played well. So I think next year I'm going to make it a goal of mine. I am going to suit up next year.
Whoa! What?
I'm going to play next year.
What? Hey, we might play. We might have a Christmas game.
I think I'm game for the Christmas game.
I heard it here first.
Yeah.
This man Scott said he's gonna play football. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. You know what? Had I thought about it, so here's the thing, right? So me and you were in about a dozen different chats together, right? You know, just different friends. So it was alerted to me, but I wasn't paying attention to the particular chat to where it was alerted.
Right.
So had you reminded me a little bit earlier, which I could understand why you didn't mention anything, so because you're like, well, he's got to know because this person that says something, this person that says something, this person that says something. But I really forgot, so I would have participated this year. Normally, I wouldn't have participated, but I don't know. I think I could have went out there and participated. So.
I think you would have been good, man. I think that that you know, it was good. I mean, I feel like there are people that played in the game that they don't normally play football. I mean, we having fun, so it's like, shoot, all right, let's go.
Right.
I think you would have had a good time, man. It was good. We did lose, so here's the thing. We got cheated partly too of a comeback because normally it's supposed to be first to 28, and then that's halftime, and then you do another half up to 28, right? And the other team, I ain't gonna say that they were scared, but you know they tried to use the age thing of, oh no, we're old, man, blah blah blah. Man, we all around the same age, and I mean we did start a little later, so I think that played a part as well. But I mean, it was a good game. I'm glad that we played, and I know next year we should be doing a Christmas one, and I think that could start something else. But the Christmas was mentioned mainly because guys are so competitive, and that's the next holiday. so yeah. I think that that would be a good thing. You should play.
So I got a question for you. All right, so you had the 3 Thanksgiving games yesterday, right? You had the first game, Buffalo and Detroit. Mm-hmm. I thought Detroit was going to win that game personally.
I did too.
But for all intents and purposes, it was a good game.
Right.
You had Dallas play the Giants. What were your thoughts on that game?
I think the game went pretty much how I expected it to go. I thought Dallas would win by double digits, but I mean, would have had he made the field goal. But I get it. The game was pretty much out of reach at that point, and things happen. But again, I feel like that game went about how I thought it was gonna go. I thought those interceptions were the first one I didn't agree with. I thought it was a pass interference. The second one was just a bad throw, you know. But I get tired of guys not giving Dak the respect that he deserves. I mean, since he's been back, Cowboys lead the league in scoring. Last year, Cowboys had the best offense in the league, numbers wise, scoring wise, best scoring offense in the league. I think it gets to a point where you kind of got to say, this guy is a good quarterback. Like, so some of those things is like, what are y'all talking about? You know. So, but in regards to the game, I think it went the way it should have.
You know what it is? So I think Dak is a good quarterback, and I agree. I don't think we give him enough credit. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, it's like it doesn't pass the eye test when you're watching him.
I don't know how.
Well, I'll say this, right? And it's kind of almost, maybe it's being a Cowboys quarterback, right? Because it was the same thing with Tony Romo, to where, you know, people focused on his faults, like when he was playing. Mm-hmm. But then when you start to really deep dive in the statistics and the outcome, you're like, well, I mean, what other type of quarterback do you want? Like, mm-hmm. Yeah, he's messed up in some highly televised moments, but other than that, if you look at it statistically, like, he's doing everything that you want done. Mm-hmm. from a quarterback. And I get the feeling from Dak too, that if you look at it, he's consistently throwing between that 250, 280 mark. He mm-hmm. consistently gives you 2 touchdowns. He may give you 1 interception. But if you're winning, that's good. Like 200, over 250 yards and 2 touchdowns from your quarterback, and you're going to win that game. That's a good statistic. But for whatever reason, people don't see it as sexy. They see that he could be doing much better. He could be doing better. He could be passing for more, and people are reluctant to give him their props. I am reluctant to give the Giants any more credit. I'm serious with that. Watching that game made me think that the Giants appear to be overrated. That's what I gathered from that game.
So I'll say this: Giants overrated. I mean, I think everybody knew that. I
don't think everybody knew that.
I think they overachieved. You know, I don't know. I don't even think Giants fans thought that they would have 7 wins at this point in the season. I've heard it a bunch. So I'll say this. The Giants do have a good. They have a tough team. I think Daboll is the perfect man for that job, right? I feel like he's going to be there for quite some time, and they're going to get better. Because right now this is almost like a throwaway year for the Giants. Will they make the playoffs? I don't know. I think that looking at their schedule and looking at the injuries they have, you know, they still have Philly one more time, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they have Philly one more time. They have Philly twice, and have Washington twice. So can they split both of those games? Absolutely. Will they split? Is to be seen. Let me get to this one comment that I see in regards to Dak. I mean Dak, and you know he has playoff wins. You know he's beaten Russell Wilson actually in the playoffs. But also I feel like this season is a little different in regards to the NFC East as a whole, right? One thing that you can say about all 4 teams in that division is that they play really good defense, right? All of them. Even Washington plays. They get Chase Young back, right? Now, me personally would like to see all 4 teams make the playoffs.
I wouldn't mind seeing it, but the reality is, and we've disagreed, and we disagreed last week. I don't believe all 4 of those teams are as good as advertised. I think that it's possible that all 4 teams can make it, but I don't see serious contender from any of those teams. The Cowboys, I would say that they've got just as much of a shot of winning the Super Bowl as my 49ers. The same. They don't strike the fear in me that I mean, there's no strike any fear. I mean,
no. You talking about the Eagles?
I'm talking about any of those.
You just caught me off guard when you said that the Cowboys have as good a shot winning the Super Bowl as the Niners. Because I agree. I actually think that's going to be the NFC Championship, and if that is the NFC Championship,
our pitcher out again.
Huh?
Our pitcher out again.
What pitcher is out?
When YouTube pitcher look terrible.
Nah. No, I'm looking right at it. I think that it's Scott over here telling me about something. Anyway, but nah, I think that if that happens, if 49ers Dallas happens, there will be some bets. You know what? I ain't betting. Nope. I ain't betting because every time I want to bet, I mean, I bet, it's not every time, but if it's 49ers Cowboys, I always lose them bet for whatever reason. But when I don't bet, that's when we win. So I'm not betting this year, and we'll see what happens after that.
Are we going going through Restream?
Yeah.
Yes. Terrible on YouTube.
Scott literally happy. Scott's fussing with me right now, y'all. He's
Yeah.
talking about. Matter of fact, come around, so you can see that he got to take his because he don't see. Look, he always want to call me like the perfectionist. He's saying that our visuals are off right now, and I'm telling him that is not, because that's it right there. Say hi to the people.
wow. Okay.
Say hi to
Now it
people.
looks different on your screen.
Yeah, I know. You know, hey man, you know that's
So
why.
I will.
No. But nah. We're good. So as far as like the Eagles, yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like I see a lot of chinks in the armor. People saying that they're the best team in the league. I just don't see it. I don't. And that's not hate on my part. I like some of the pieces that they have, but I feel like they have limitations in the offense. I think if they get down, it'll be hard for them to come back. Second half, they're not that great of a second, and that part is not really on the players. It's more of the coach and what adjustments you make, this, that, and the third. They don't seem to be that great in the second half. Now, no way in the world, and I'm not saying that they're a bad team, because you're 9-1, you're not a bad team. I just personally see a lot of chinks in the armor.
I think as far as the NFC teams, it just goes like that, to where it's every team has some sort of weakness to where you're looking at it and you're like, you know what? Why not my team? Because the Minnesota Vikings, after they beat Buffalo, I was like, okay, they're legit. And then I watched what the Cowboys did to them. I said, maybe not so. You know, I look at our division. I think it's up for grabs for anybody. I think.
And whose division?
My division.
No, stop it.
We're gonna win. We're gonna win that division, but it's not a super dominant team in that division that's just saying, you know what, we're going to take control of this division. If you look at it from a record standpoint, it's a lot of football left to be played, you know, and it's really, I think we're going to jump out in front after what we did to the Cardinals on Monday night. But if you're the Cardinals, not really necessarily the Rams, but if you're Seattle, I mean, you're still thinking that you've got a possibility of winning the division. I mean, we're tied with Seattle.
Right. So I get that part, but come on. We know good and damn well that Seattle, you already dismantled them. And again, that regular season only one game, but if we're being as honest as we possibly can be, the 49ers are way better than everybody in that division. The Rams are terrible. The Cardinals are terrible. Seattle is good. But the Niners are just better than everybody.
And I would agree.
Yeah, and y'all gonna win that division by at least 2 games. So
yeah, I would agree.
And speaking of winning division, I think the Cowboys are gonna win their division. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about that Vikings Patriots game.
Okay.
The first question I got was that a touchdown?
With CeeDee Lamb, right?
No. With Hunter Henry. The one where he caught it, they called it a touchdown, and then they reversed it.
I don't believe so.
So I disagree. I think that it was a touchdown. I mean, they reversed it, and it looked like he had control. And once he turned over, the ball never touched the ground. You know, so I didn't see enough to really overturn it, but again, they overturned it. It was what it was. So, but it ended up costing them the game.
Right.
So, I thought it was a good game. I thought all 3 games. I thought it was a good day of football. That was one of the better games. I thought both games were the Buffalo game and the Minnesota game. I thought those games were better than the Dallas game, but I thought all three were good games. Minnesota answered the call. I mean, you lose the way you lose on Sunday, and then now you got to go against Bill Belichick. I for one thought that they will find a way to not necessarily shut Jefferson down, but to slow him down. It wasn't no slowing him down.
I don't think anybody
Well,
can slow him down. I mean,
Trayvon Diggs, that's 2 years in a row that he had like 40 yards receiving, if that. That's 2 years in a row that he's been shut down against Dallas. Not saying that. I mean, and I don't want to make this the Dallas show, but you're gonna have to start giving Trayvon Diggs his just due, man. He's one of the best in the league.
one of the best.
Absolutely. There's not many cornerbacks better than Trayvon Diggs in the league. No way. No way. Look at his numbers. Because here's the thing. Hear me out. Last year, he got all them interceptions, and everybody, he gave up the most yards. Now, he don't got that many interceptions, but can't nobody catch nothing against him. Now, I mean, look at who he shut down. He shut down Justin Jefferson, which most people put Justin Jefferson top 2 in the league because of a cat. But he's a dog, right? He's top 5 in the league. McLaren is probably one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. Shut him down. Who else we played? A.J. Brown didn't do much against the Cowboys neither. I'm just saying. I just named three Pro Bowlers or 3 good receivers. I'm just saying it's time to give him his just due. You can look at me all you want, crazy like
No,
I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying.
putting it all together.
So I see a post. Somebody said Marlon Humphrey is better. You are out of your cotton picking mind if you think Marlon Humphrey is better than Trayvon Diggs. No way. Not the way. Did you see what Jamar Chase did to Marlon Humphrey? Man, please. But okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, Trayvon Diggs. Hear me out on this, right?
Okay.
It depends what you're considering the best.
Okay.
I think we still got a lot of football left. I think he's shaping up to have a good year. Like you said, you can't deny what he did to Justin Jefferson. But let's see if he holds the trend for the rest of the year. I think what's overshadowing his campaign this year is what Michael Parsons is doing. Michael Parsons has, I mean, that's the only person I need to know in that defense.
So here's the thing. Micah, some could say that that's the best defensive duo in the league, or one of the best defensive duos in the league. You know.
So you're on corner. You consider him a linebacker or a D lineman?
Who?
Micah.
He's everything.
He's hybrid.
He's everything. Everything. Hey, first of all, Michael Parsons was doing this as a rookie last year. Let's not act like this is something new. I mean,
no, it's nothing. Nothing. Yeah, it's nothing new.
Michael Parsons. So here's the thing. I think that you just pick any duo. It doesn't matter the position on defense. So you got Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. But I mean, every time I watch a big game with Jalen Ramsey this year, he getting beat.
He's getting toasted.
He getting beat. So I mean,
but in full transparency, they did win the Super Bowl together, and they're having
that is true.
Yeah, they're having a down year now, but I think you've got to go Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. They just haven't done enough. I mean, Michael Parsons and
one is in his second year, the other's in his third year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They haven't done enough to be classified as the best duo.
Okay. Let's take Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, because I mean, again,
yeah, that's not a fair comparison.
Jalen Ramsey. Let's take them out, right?
Okay.
let's take them out because I think we can agree that the two of them are probably the best duo. But I'm talking about this year. And again, I could be wrong.
Had he not gotten hurt, do you say T.J. Watt and Micah Fitzpatrick is a more comparable duo?
Woo.
I
Yeah.
think that's a more fair a fair.
Minka and TJ. Oof. Oof. Okay, I see. Someone said the Buccaneers duo at linebacker, Barrett and White.
That's
First of all, I tell you what, ain't two faster backers together. Yeah. That's a good one. We got Will up here. He said Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey or Roquan Smith. See, Roquan Smith ain't been there long enough, right? So we don't really know. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's few people I dislike more
than Marcus Peters.
Oh my God! So he's definitely not. I think he is the most overrated cornerback in the NFL.
Marcus Peters.
Yeah, Marcus Peters is.
I don't know if I could say he's the most overrated.
I think he's over. Maybe not the most over. He's an overrated cornerback. He gets beat a lot.
Okay.
And that's I think in his career, he'll have a big season. Then the next season, he's average or below average. Then a big season, then yeah.
I want the underrated one, and only because I've been watching them on Hard Knocks. J.J. Watt and Budda Baker.
I thought you were going to say Simmons and Budda Baker.
Yeah, you can go Simmons.
The Chargers with
what's his name? Mack and
Well, you got Mack and
you got Bosa.
Bosa, but you also got what's it called?
James.
Yeah.
Darwin
Yeah.
James.
So all right. So now that we brought this up, there's a lot of duos where you can say, all right, they got something. Now, do I think Roquan Smith is going to be good in Baltimore?
Absolutely, yeah.
I think he's going. He's that missing piece. He's that missing piece in Baltimore.
The Bears are crazy, by the way, too.
Why? No way. I think the Bears did the absolute smart thing by getting rid of Mack and getting rid of Roquan, because now the Bears and we're gonna be making a hard left turn real quick, but the Bears have they have 126 million in cap space for next season, just for the season. Then they got a ton of picks. I think the Bears are set up to do something pretty good.
So this is what I mean by crazy, right? Mm-hmm. So they are set up, and it's hard to disagree with that, right? Mm-hmm. But their whole reasoning or rationale with not paying him is they didn't think that he was a game changer. And that's where I was going with the Bears is the Bears felt that he didn't make enough impactful plays to games. So what that kind of means and how they were kind of explaining it is pretty much a player like Roquan Smith may have 12 tackles, but he doesn't have any takeaways, no forced fumbles, no interceptions, no sacks, and it doesn't change the outcome of the game. So they couldn't justify paying him that much money, being that he didn't make that much of an impact. My argument to that was that's the defensive coordinator's fault. I felt like if they would have put Roquan Smith in those situations that they put other players in to make those big plays, then you get that type of production. Like you look at Micah Parsons, right? I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a dog. He was drafted high, but you gotta give Dan Quinn a little bit of credit. He's putting those guys in a good position. We saw what he did with the Legion of Boom when he was in Seattle. Didn't really translate too much to Atlanta, but now that he's in the fold in Dallas. What he's been able to do with that defense. I mean, you look at it, arguably the Dallas defense is the top defense in the NFL. Some people will look at the 49ers and they'll say their defense is, and it just really depends on what you think a top-tier defense should consist of. But,
Right.
yeah, Dan Quinn and you guys' offensive coordinator, what's his name?
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, they're going to be head coaches next year.
Well, not if Jerry has anything to do with it, probably not. He don't pay them like head coaches. But no, and I get that though, because they could have been head coaches this year. You know, now if the opportunity presents itself, I'm almost certain that they're like, yeah. In regards to I agree in regards to like with Roquan and putting him in position, because that's what they do with Parsons. But I think that Parsons sometimes they do too much. You know, so look, like when we played Green Bay, they was moving them around. I understand Anthony Barr didn't play that game, but let this man go rush the passer, yeah, and or put him somewhere, let him just go, because sometimes it's. But I get it, and they were running the hell out the ball. You know, and Green Bay ran the hell out the ball, but I'll say this, since that game, the two teams we played, Minnesota and New York, who have probably better running games than Green Bay, ain't been able to run the ball. You know, so it's almost like they refocused a little bit, and because you can't give up. You can't, and that honestly that point may be the turning point in the season, you know, because you give up a 14-point fourth quarter lead, never happened before, ever in the team's history, and then you come out and play the way you played the following week. I think that that's I ain't gonna say it's a big deal, but it's a deal. You know what I'm saying? It's something,
yeah,
you know.
got
So yeah, so all right, let's get back on the main road. Winner of the week, Tom. Well, you're winner of the week. Winner of the week. Who you got?
I give it to the Big Ten conference. I don't know if you guys heard about this. So we don't really cover a ton of hockey. The way that we kind of cover hockey is we'll announce whoever won the Stanley Cup. If we do, I don't even think that. Yeah. I think the year that the Capitals were in it, we had more,
and we was in DC, so we ain't had no choice.
Yeah, so we had more of a vested interest in what was going on. But outside of that, we don't really cover much with hockey. Mm-hmm. Where I'm going with this is it's not a lot of minorities that play hockey. It's a lot has to deal with it, right? It's an expensive sport. When you really break down the schematics of like how hockey players are paid compared to the other four major sports, not a lot of money in it, and it's hard to really like commit to it. You know what I mean? Especially if you're an inner city kid that doesn't have or even know where to look for hockey programs within your city or whatnot. So they have a tough time not only getting minority players, but attracting minority audiences as well. So there's a particular player, black young man, he plays for Michigan State. And he was playing Ohio State. And this is about maybe, say, October 20th when this happened, around that time frame. So he's playing, and throughout the game, multiple racial slurs are being said to him. Mm-hmm. So on about the third occasion, the ref ended up hearing it, ended up giving the guy a personal conduct penalty.
So it was a player?
It was a player. It was a player. So it was one specific player during that game that got a personal conduct penalty during that game. So he reports it, talks to his coaches, talks to everybody. They give him the under-the-table apology. But he basically brought this to the Big Ten's attention, like, hey, this was an issue. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
Weeks go by. This week, he posts something on his Instagram page.
Who did?
The player. The player that was being, that was pretty much the victim in all this. Mm-hmm. And he basically talked about how that it's rough for him being a minority in hockey, and that everybody says the right things. Pretty much they say, hey, we're all for minorities in hockey, and we're all for diversifying the sport and bringing this awareness to the sport. But I bring this issue, and nothing has been done about it. Needless to say, they ended up suspending the player. Ohio State ended up reacting. But I thought the Big Ten dropped the ball on this, man. And that's why I'm bringing more attention to it, because it's one of those stories that is being swept under the rug, but it does need a little bit more attention to it, because not to compare apples to oranges, but we're seeing kind of this anti-Semitic thing kind of play out, to where if somebody was to say something like that, they could lose billions and billions of dollars, and they won't be able to play the sport. But then you have this other racial component to where it's not even being addressed. So, what are your thoughts, man?
It's crazy because I haven't even heard about this. You know, until you told me a little while ago, I didn't hear about it, and I do think that something more needs to be done. They have to, because you said, did the kid get suspended, or he just got suspended. Yep. And I think that there has to be some sort of accountability. You know, whether it's with the coach, whether it's the school, a fine or something. Because again, if that black kid was a Jewish kid, and someone said that on a it's going to be more than a suspension. Now, I'm not saying that the kid should be kicked out of school. I'm not saying that the coach should be fired, but there has to be no tolerance for any of it, you know. And I think that, you know, suspension is a start, but the conference should do something about it. And even if they send out a memo to every team saying that we're not going to accept this behavior at all, is one and done, or something to that effect, because you got to start holding these people accountable, whether it's you know, a black person, Jewish person, Arabian, or it doesn't matter. You can't do those type of things and just think it's okay, you know. And I'm sure that it's already hard for this kid because he's a black kid playing hockey. It was probably hard for him growing up, you know, because he's a black kid playing hockey. So yeah, I do think that even if it's a letter going out to all the Big Ten schools and any other conference, like, you know, racism won't be tolerated, hate speech won't be tolerated, and go from there. You know, because they have to do something, you know, and again, I'm not saying kick this kid out of school, but it shouldn't be a 1-game suspension. And he should know, like, I screwed up, and I may cost my team because I'm not there because I was being stupid. Because I tell you, I doubt he's the only one that was even thinking it or whatever he was saying. He's talked to his teammates before, you know, before he said it or anything. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they do say something, and I do hope that this picks up steam, and these guys are held accountable, or this kid is held accountable. So
let's go back to this, right? And me and you kind of talked about it a little bit offline, but we haven't talked about it on air. So the Jerry Jones thing,
right?
And we got to go there. So you haven't heard? Pretty much somebody was, I don't know if they were doing a book report or they were doing whatever they were doing.
How do you even find this picture? Like, how do you know that's Jerry Jones?
Somebody was doing a deep dive into our history of Little Rock, Arkansas, and they found a 14-year-old picture. Well, it's not 14-year-old; it's a 65-year-old picture, but it was a picture of Jerry Jones.
When he was 14.
Yeah, when he was 14.
14 or 15.
Yep. So pretty much What it was it was an integration attempt. It had, I believe, 9 African American
Little Rock.
students that were trying to integrate into Little Rock High School.
North Little Rock.
Yeah, North Little Rock High School. So this was the high school that Jerry Jones attended, and there was some people that was there that were, I mean, we've all seen all the civil rights videos that were less than happy to be integrated with the Little Rock Nine. Jerry Jones appeared to be a spectator. It didn't look like he was an active participant, but it didn't look like he was assisting them anyway. He was just somewhat in the middle.
Right.
What are your thoughts on all this?
All right. First, we know what we know what it was back then. We've all whether we have done a book report, we've done our history lessons. We know what it was like in America, in the South, in 1957. Right. We understand that. It was, and even now, I mean, even now we go through some of those things as we speak. I'm definitely not defending anyone in this situation, but I do think it's a little strange to bring this up like now, and it's just like, what was being accomplished by, or what are you trying to accomplish by having this picture out there? And like, again, like you said, it just seemed like he was just a spectator. I heard a report that, or someone told me, and again, I'm just going off what I was told. I didn't do my research in regards, but he was supposed to be at football practice, and the coach told those guys, or he was supposed to be on his way to, something to that effect, that not he was supposed to be at football practice. I believe that the coach told them to not go over there or be involved in that situation. And as kids do, they don't listen and went over there. Now, again, it doesn't look like he was an aggressor. It doesn't look like he was, but it also doesn't look like he was defending those kids, which you gotta be a brave somebody to in 1957 to try and defend 9 black kids at 14 years old in the Deep South while they're trying to integrate a school.
And that's a fair call out, is that I think sometimes, and we even look at it like, I'll use, and I promise I'm making a point, like the Draymond Green and Jordan Poole situation, right? A lot of times it's easier to look at situations as an adult and say, or a mature adult, and say, this is what this younger person, or this is what this teenage boy should have done at this time. But like, to your point, it was different times, not to say that they're right or they're wrong.
Right.
And we don't know what type of individual Jerry Jones was. I'm not going to say that or accuse him of being a racist back then, even though the picture is being painted that he probably was a racist. But I will say this, you don't know what type of character he had as a 14-year-old boy, to where maybe he was a follower back then. Maybe he was one of the ones that couldn't figure it out. And in fairness, if we was to go to anybody and look at the individual they were when they were 14 years old and try to assess them throughout their life on behaviors of them being 14, I don't think that that's fair, and I do give him a mild pass. So my question is, obviously, most of us feel that he's not a racist. Maybe he was at one point. Maybe he's got racist tendencies. But for the most part, I'm comfortable with saying that he's not a racist. How can he make this situation right? Or is it just too far going to where he can't make it right?
I think some of the things that he could do, he can invite those guys to a game. I mean, I know there was one guy that was part of that. I don't know how many of them are still alive. I mean, they're all in the same age group. But I think inviting them to a game and not necessarily squashing it, but bring them around and you know, I think inviting them to, because it's a game, you know, it's a football game. There's more than that. Everybody watches the Cowboys, so I think him reaching out, and I mean he can apologize but I mean, yeah, why not? He can apologize for that time period, because we know that black folks weren't treated right back then. Are they treated right? No, I mean they're treated better, but it's not definitely not the same, you know. But I think that's something that he can do to. It's not even about making it right, because the things that those 9 black kids went through, I don't think there's enough that he can do to make that situation right. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, to almost befriend them, which he may have already. I don't know, but that would go a long way in, I guess, some people's minds. I mean,
I'm not sure what he can do. I mean, if you look at Jerry Jones is one consistent person, right? You look at how he reacted during the whole protests, and is pretty consistent with how I think that he's always felt. I don't think he's going to change, and I don't think that he's going to. I don't think he's going to do the work that's required to fix this. So it's almost better off not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's going to.
My battery's about to die.
Which battery? Your
Yeah.
camera? Oh, yeah.
Like, it's all good.
So I'm glad I changed it, but we don't have that much longer.
Yeah, I know. Well, keep on talking.
Yeah. So I don't know what work he'll be able to do to fix this, or if he even cares. I think
he definitely cares.
You think he cares?
I think he cares. I think that him I think that he feels some sort of way, because you can tell by his he responded to it last night after the game, and you know he responded, and he definitely cares that he was being perceived as a kind of, he pretty much being perceived as a racist.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that he has to figure it out. Not figure it, I'm sorry. But he has to, you know, come to grips with it. He did speak on it after the game. He spoke on it, and he addressed it. You know, I should find the clip and play it for the people that what you think?
Yeah, go ahead. No, I think most people are interested to hear what he did say and gain that perspective.
All right. Well, now I'm blurry, but it's cool. I'll let you have the you got the full screen right now.
Okay. Are you still gonna play it, or you?
I am gonna play. I'm
Okay.
gonna play the clip. Let's see if I can find it. but again, you know, it was brought up to him last night. After the Cowboys game, after the Cowboys win, I'm not just gonna say Cowboys game. They did win the game, but it was brought up, and you know, I put it like this: I would be agitated if I'm 80 years old and you bring something up from when I was 14, 15 years old. I'm like, wait, what? I done lived my whole life. You know, and here's the thing. I know people say, like, because the Cowboys are one of a few teams, and they're one of, I think, 6 or 7 teams that's never had an African American head coach. And you know, but they've had, you know, they've had black executives in the organization. Now you're not gonna have a higher up, because that's Jerry Jones. You know what I'm saying? And he said he's made all of his decisions based off of business and not personal. So we'll see. Let's see if I can find this. You know what? Y'all can blame me. I should have been prepared, right? I knew, but I didn't think we was gonna have to play the.
No, it's okay. But let's shift gears, right? So the Michigan State players, back to Michigan State. So
Okay.
a couple weeks ago, might have been about 3 weeks ago, Michigan, the Wolverines played the Michigan State Spartans. It's a football game, pretty good football game. It ends up resulting in Michigan winning. And at the end of the game, the players went to the same tunnel. That's how they need to get to their locker room.
Right.
When they exited the field to go back to the locker room, a fight occurred between a Michigan player and some Michigan State players. Ended up being, I think, 2 Michigan players were involved, and it was 7, I believe, Michigan State players that were involved. Needless to say, they ended up beating the guy into the concussion protocol. He ended up having a concussion. And they've came back based off of the videotape, and they've charged those Michigan State players with felonies. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
I think that you can't. You played a whole football game. You played a whole football game, and now you decide that you want to be a thug. And I'm gonna call them thugs because that's what they look like. They look like some damn thugs. And hey Scott, could you fix my camera, please? Just hit the focus. I apologize, y'all, but it's all Scott's fault because he
That's it off now.
Just turn it. No. The lens. All right, go sit down. There you
Is
go.
it-
Now turn it off. Thank you. You are a great co-host.
All right.
Jeez.
Come on.
I know, but all jokes back to what we were saying. So you can't do things like that. Like you can't swing helmets. You can't assault somebody with, this is after the game, and I understand it's a rivalry, but you can't do things like that, man. And like that is it was uncalled for. I think he ended up with a concussion and some other injuries, but nah, man, that to me it was weak. It was lame, and they deserved everything they got. I'm whether they get, I don't think they're gonna get jail time. I think it's gonna get suspended like jail time, but they'll be on probation. But you can't do stuff like that. Like that was, and if the roles were reversed, I'd be saying the same thing.
Right.
If it was like Michigan players doing that to Michigan State guys, I would say the same thing because, the dude was trying to go through the tunnel to get to his father. Like that is crazy. And I think that was a weak move by those former players now.
Right. No, I agree, and there's no place for any of that in football, but it happened, and I thought it was just crazy that we're bringing charges against players at the end of the game. I mean, like, literally, players are jumping other players to where...
Craziest thing I've seen.
Yeah, one of the craziest things.
Like, because I can understand a fight on the field. Right? Or I can even understand one-on-one. Like, it was one Michigan guy and one Michigan State guy, and they going at it. I don't have no problem with it. But it was a racking them against one guy or two guys, however many. It was like, come on, man. Like, it's crazy. And it shouldn't even be like that. So, I mean, those dudes, you got to make better choices. As I'm not gonna blame it on age. I'm gonna just blame it on stupidity. Because they clearly know better than doing something like that. So if it results in you getting charged and getting a felony, make better decisions. So
Gotcha.
yeah. So I mean, I know that may sound harsh, right? But it's just I understand why it happened, and you know, and it also would have been different if we heard about it and we didn't see it again.
Right, seeing it on the videotape.
Video makes things a whole lot worse, man. And what I didn't lie to us, you know. It is what it is. Now, will they get off? I don't want to say get off, but will their sentence or charges be? I don't think they're gonna go to jail. I don't think they should go to jail. But I just think that you gotta wear that one. You know, now.
Yeah, most of them will probably transfer. They might go back to a JUCO, or they might
somewhere.
go to
Another school. And they may go to another because, I mean, hey, I don't think that they should never be able to play football again.
Right.
I don't think that they should play again this year. Well, they can't. I think they're off the team now, or I don't even know if they're off the team.
No, I believe they're off the team now too.
Okay, so I mean, they made that choice. They got to live with it, man. Life lesson. That don't mean that their life is over.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's you know, I just thought about something. Back to this Jerry Jones thing. The article came out in the Washington Post. Cowboys are doing really well. Washington is doing decent, but they're not doing as good as the Cowboys. Do you find any irony in that? You know, while the Cowboys are trying to get Odell Beckham, they're right in the Odell Beckham sweepstakes. What better way to try and muddy the waters by bringing up something that happened in 1957? I don't know. Maybe that's the conspiracy theorist in me. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist either, but it was just ironic. It just seems kind of strange.
Yeah, I don't think it. So the Commanders owner, he's got a lot, and that's another thing. He actually has a worse situation that he's in. Again, I think it was just brought up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just first of all, the fact that some people it's just good, yo. Because how do you even, out of all those people in that, and that picture, and then like, wait, that's Jerry Jones. How does that happen? But
right.
I mean, people are good at their jobs, man. So what I'll do is I'll post it. I'll post his response on Instagram on the Instagram page and all that stuff, and we'll go from there. The United States, real quick, we talk about the World Cup. The United States with another draw. Geez, I guess that's better than losing, right?
Yeah. So I watched the game today against England.
Mm-hmm.
We just appear to be a defensive team, from what I see, and I don't know much about soccer, but it appears that we just don't have the offensive threats that the other countries have, which, I mean, like you said, it's better than losing, but at some point you got to be able to score. And I'm just not seeing the dynamic score, the center or the wings, to the caliber of the center and wings on the other team. So it's going to be interesting to see. We got Iran, I believe, Tuesday. Hopefully we can beat them. But without scoring any goals, I don't know if that's going to be even possible.
Yeah, well, we're going to see. All right, one last thing before we get out of here. I do want to talk about this, and that's Patrick Beverley.
Okay.
I know we didn't talk any NBA today, and that's okay. We can talk more next week. But he got suspended for 3 games for hip checking or pushing DeAndre Ayton in the back. Well, he has a history of such events. What are your thoughts?
I am, and I'll requote Devin Booker on this. I'm sick of watching Patrick Beverley push people in the back. If you want to go around and again, right? It's like what you were talking about with the Michigan State player. Like if it's a one-on-one fair battle, fair fight, you're in my face and you're looking me in my eye and you push me in the chest, okay.
Right.
I have no problems with that. But when you are pushing people off guard in the back, it's very cowardice. And Patrick Beverly is irritating. He's irritating to say the least. What he's bringing to basketball, at first I used to like it because I used to say, he's a tough guy. But some of the antics that he's just doing is just, it's not it's not cool. And I think that he deserved this 3-game suspension. And what I really would like to see is I would like to see somebody knock his jaw out of place. I mean, that's really, honestly, if I was Monty Williams, that's what I would have been telling my players. Like, somebody go over there and knock his head off his shoulders. He needs it. He needs it. And that's the only reason that's the only way he's going to stop is he needs somebody to just cold cock him, man. He needs somebody to.
That word
he needs it, man. He's been asking for it.
So here's my take on the whole situation, right? Again, he has a history. He has a history. What he did to Chris Paul a couple years ago was, I thought, atrocious. It was terrible. I mean, they should have beat his ass back at that point, right? Now, here's the thing. I'm not defending what he did on the other day. And I do agree that he should be suspended for 3 games, if not more. But he got 3 games. Now, the thing is, he says he was protecting this player. And I tend to agree, right? I agree that he was protecting this guy. Now, there's bad blood there because Phoenix, I think there's a lot of teams that are tired of Phoenix as well because they haven't done anything. But they talk like they're like 3-4-time champions, right? And I get it. They're a good team. But they are annoying as well. My thing is this. I'm not letting, if you're on the ground and we're playing somebody and they standing, I'm not letting nobody just stand over my guys. I'm just not. Now, it ain't, could he have went about it another way, like push them off from the side or whatever? Yeah, I didn't like how Anthony Davis was just standing there and just letting Ayton just stand over Reeves like that. I thought it was whatever. Again, I'm not defending what he did, but I understand why he did what he did.
So let me ask you this: if Ayton gets back up and punches Patrick Beverly, is he wrong?
No.
Fair
I
enough.
mean, because he got pushed in the back, right? And so, but again, to every action is a reaction. So because he was standing over Reeves, what's his name? What are you talking about? Pat Bev. So because he's standing over Reeves, Pat Bev pushes him in his back. Now, if Ayton gets up, throws the ball at him, or tries to choke him out or whatever, he has all the right to do that because, I probably will react if somebody pushed me in my back as well. And if because here's the thing, when they play, they're gonna play again. Yeah, I'm almost certain that they're gonna put a bounty on Pat Bev. He's gonna go in for a layup, and DeAndre Ayton is gonna do his best to make sure that Pat Beverly goes into like the third row. I can see that, and I wouldn't blame him. But Patrick Beverly doesn't get the benefit of the doubt because I don't care what anybody say. He's a dirty player. I think he's a dirty player. I think that he's like a gnat or whatever. He's annoying. He's all of those things. But it's like eventually enough is enough. So yes, if he gets punched in the face, then he gets punched in the face. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, you shouldn't have did that, because honestly, he should have been punched in the face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But I understand why he did that one. The one against what he did to Chris Paul, I don't agree with. What he did to Russell Westbrook, I don't agree with. And I don't think it's right that people try and make Russell Westbrook be his friend. Like, I don't like this dude. You gotta brought him on the team. That's fine. I'll be a good teammate, but I ain't gotta like him. If he gonna call a huddle, y'all other three could go. I ain't going over there. And I get it, but that man could have ruined Russell Westbrook's career. And people just want Russell Westbrook to say, oh, it's okay. Nah, hell nah. I don't blame Russell Westbrook in that case. I know we didn't talk about that before, but Patrick Beverley is a dirty player and a wannabe fake. This man cried after they won the playing game last. Like, man, you don't sit your ass down somewhere. Right. So yeah, he should have been suspended. But with that being said, I understand why he did what he did. So yeah, but yeah, man. So that's that. I think that's that, man. I think we are done here. Did you do any Black Friday shopping?
None. Absolutely
Dang.
none.
I was asleep most of the day.
Yeah, I didn't get any Black Friday shopping.
I'm still check some websites, man, because I need to get some stuff. Man. But all right, man. Till next week, man. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B.
All right, we out of here.